Morphology and general appearance. The alligator has a broad, flat head, with eyes and nostrils located at the top of its head, allowing it to remain partially submerged while surveying its surroundings. Its skin is covered in bony scales called scuts, which protect it from predators and environmental conditions. Now let's move on to our second challenger, the crocodile. Crocodiles are also part of the order Crocodilians, just like alligators. They are distributed in different species around the world, and for this comparison, we will focus on the Nile crocodile, which is one of the largest and most fearsome species. Regarding size, Nile crocodiles can reach a length of 5 to 6 meters or more and weigh between 400 and 1,000 kilograms. They have a more streamlined appearance than alligators, with a more pointed head and teeth that are more visible even when the mouth is closed. Their scales are also rougher and less flat than those of alligators. Now that we have a general idea of our two challengers, let's move on to analyzing their respective stages, starting with the alligator. Morphological features. It sounds like you are describing a reptile, specifically a crocodile. Here is a summary of your information. General morphology. Four-legged animal, almost low to the ground. Long tail. Powerful jaw with a wide mouth. Rounded muzzle. Color. Generally gray-brown, sometimes very dark or even borderline black. Special faculties. Skin with super strong scales, forming almost impenetrable armor. Resistance in relation to the solidity of its skin. Size and weight, mainly for the saltwater crocodile. Length between 4 meters and 5 meters 50. Weight between 700 kilos and 1 ton. Other species. Mention of dwarf crocodiles and the Nile crocodile, which may differ in size and characteristics from the saltwater crocodile. It appears to be a detailed description of a crocodile, focusing on its morphology, color, abilities and variations depending on the species. Morphology. We are going to be on animals with a robust body and elongated muzzle, and that more or less physically flat. We are very close to the alligator. It is just that the crocodile will be more massive in general. After that has advantages but also disadvantages. Besides his own faculty, well, it's even so resistant, and we can add a second if it is going to be there. Faculty strength. You will understand. Then why, now that we have seen a brief presentation of challenger on, we'll be able to go to the stadium and we will start with health. It's true that the leagues wrongly do it. Scare everyone at the same time. It's a super predator. He is at the top of the food chain, and we must admit it. He has no predator apart one or two, which are generally the anaconda, or to see it, but it is mainly for caimans apart that the alligator does not necessarily have predators, and that helps to settle in the long term. Moreover, in terms of longevity, he will live between 30 and 50 years. Besides that, as I just say before, his faculty, these resistance fighters, and that skin and strong structure. The skin of the crocodile is mentioned as very strong, mainly composed of keratin. Impenetrable armor. The crocodile's scales are described as difficult to pierce, with the exception of the jaguar, which is capable of doing so. Dangerousness. The crocodile is presented as very dangerous, perhaps more than the alligator. It is noted to have no predators, although it can sometimes be attacked by hippos, lions, or even elephants. Resistance. In terms of resistance, the crocodile is considered more robust than the alligator due to its greater mass, which allows it to take hits more easily. Ability to not eat for months. A unique characteristic mentioned is the crocodile's ability to survive without eating for several months. Longevity. The lifespan of the crocodile is estimated to be between 40 and 70 years, which is considered remarkable. Brute force. The crocodile is described as being among the most powerful animals in terms of brute force. Its jaw exerts a pressure of 950 kilograms per square centimeter, which allows it to break bones and dismember its opponents. In summary, the crocodile is presented as a formidable predator, with strong skin, increased resistance, impressive longevity and exceptional brute strength, notably thanks to its powerful jaw. It sounds like you're talking about the power of crocodiles versus alligators, emphasizing the strength of their bite and the strength of their skin. You also mentioned that the alligator's skin is primarily composed of keratin scales and bony plates. In general, crocodiles and alligators are fearsome predatory reptiles, and it is true that crocodiles, on average, can have a more powerful bite than alligators. However, bite power can vary depending on species, size, and other factors. The skin of both animals is indeed robust and difficult to pierce due to the presence of keratin scales and bony plates. This acts as a form of protection against potential predators. It is important to note that although these animals can be impressive in terms of their physical strength, they are also essential species in their respective ecosystems. Crocodiles and alligators play a crucial role in regulating animal populations, contributing to the balance of aquatic ecosystems. Small downside is that it is thinner at the level of its entry. That's one of these points are good after must-win. Even go there to return some progress. If one has never been seen yet by against a big advantage compared to the league. Wrongly, the crocodile has the habit to live with one's peers throughout the year, while the cakes him Bailey lives mainly in solitary outside the breeding season. Well, living with others helps enormously for the survival and the animal in more of that he is less exposed to potential attacks. Before moving on to the following stat, if you who does the concept and video subscribe, put a thumbs up, and there is also my account, a Sahara, where I often do DBS surveys, so don't hesitate. And surprisingly, there are quite a few things to say about the mobility of the alligator. You will see is enough unexpected good, even if it measures in average 3 meters long alligator and relatively fast weather in water, but also on dry land. In the water he will swim around 30 kilometers, and on the R he sprinted up to 20 kilometers hour maximum. Then yes, on the other hand, it will not hold this speed. Very long endurance level it is. Not, one must admit it. On the other hand, level agility, now it becomes interesting. That in general it is smaller and less heavy as the crocodile. It is a lot more agile. It is able to evolve easily in the water, surrounded by forests of mangroves and rent gold, downright capable of passing obstacles like fences or small walls. Push yourself, guys, you will see it. Gazelle in seriously level actions. Mobility is not bad for him. As we can see from the beginning, crocodile is much more imposing than the alligator in general, and that is feels about his mobility already on Earth. Close he is slower, he is going to run maximum at 15 kilometers, and endurance level and agility on dry land is really not crazy to say zero in terms against when he is in the water. He goes there be as good as the alligator, or even a show is faster, with a average of 32 kilometers hour. Good after bad. Don't get too excited either. Further, it's completely normal. It is easier, therefore more powerful, more than strength, more speed. I don't know if it was clear, but you have understood the idea. Is for once it is valid for both. They have so much a good power to weight ratio, which is satchel, simply to make jumps out of the water. Finally, jump don't have. They don't do high jump either, and more to propel themselves out of the water to grab a few from time to time. For statistical intelligence, we will mainly be interested in predation techniques, basically how they bust ass. And here for now we have two styles, completely opposite. The alligator suits him mainly feed on small prey. He will catch fish birds and occasionally small mammals are generally hunted. It will remain motionless at the bottom of the water, mouth wide open and wait that a fish passes in, and suddenly he shuts his mouth and Laval turns. And small detail that is important when even in the alligator but also in crocodiles are capable of manage the sex of their offspring. I don't explain to me what it really is. Clear when the reptiles are still in the waters, the female goes more or cover them less from exposure to the sun. For example, an incubation temperature less than 30 degrees or equal to 30 degrees breeds female reptiles. Whereas, on the contrary, a temperature at above 33 degrees will cause harm, and that crocodiles are aware of it. It's just crazy. Bridge the crocodile, unlike the league, wrongly suits him. Rather attack big hands. As I was before, it is often zebras, wildebeests in chase, and he will do it on the lookout, and there a technique of his own. From afar he goes spot its prey. Once it locks his target, he will dive to the bottom of the water and get as close as possible. Possible to learn, and when I say it more possible, it's very very close, 10-20 centimeters away. Once that he is sure, he suddenly jumps out. Water escapes is learned with mouth, and once generally catch, there is very little chance of getting out. It can happen, but it's rare. Yes. Come here to the lower Rhine and shit, then by against crocodilians cannot at all chewed, so suddenly they are forced to tear off limbs or two and their victims to feed. Yeah, I wouldn't like to be in second. Okay, there we come to see that the alligator crocodiles are quite close, and that it will be very hard to decide between them. By the way, tell me in comments too, you who wins the match and why. Basically, who you bet on small fencer to move on to the results. These two species do not meet almost never in nature. It can happens from time to time, but it remains minorities, so for them it is almost impossible to stop. Come on, it's all very nice, but now you don't have that bottom line. Record to start, I asked you on YouTube and Instagram for you who wins the match between these two titans, and you were very numerous with the crocodile by winning. On the other hand, on YouTube you are great balls. Really announced the big gap. If we take a good look at the atom crocodile for you, literally browser, on the other hand on Instagram is more mixed for you, and for you fight it and much tighter. Well, wouldn't now be the time to give you the final result for know if you bet on? Good job. Okay, let's start the simulation. I'll tell you. Reminds you have decided to bet on the crocodile. So did you get right or wrong? The result is now, and it's the crocodile who wins, and I will explain to you why he will win. Well, already I think that everything the world had almost the same result, apart from some who voted the league to generally wrongs crocodiles to be much more imposing and powerful. Alligators, the big problem is that both of them mainly have a defensive build, so they will rely mainly on their resistance and their armor, and unfortunately faced with a force of very powerful strike that goes wrong to be able to collect for a very long time. Therefore, their weak point is power, and then in all cases, if we compare their stadium, if we put them side by side, we sees immediately that the crocodile is a notch above the alligator, so it's normal that they win the match. Here is my analysis. You have the right to agree or not at all these cases. No problem, no, it's absolutely normal. Everyone has the right to have their opinion. And there is the comment area to give your opinion, so don't hesitate. Not brief. If you enjoyed the video, Bottom, don't forget the blue thumb that encourages me, and then it also helps. Referencing, you can also subscribe to the channel, make a small donation with the join button located on the YouTube page, and of course share. This video really helps me a lot. To gain visibility on this allows you to resume an activity, and remember that curiosity is a charming flaw. I'm breathing, I'm you a little late.